most of the time, violence is just a thing that happens. Violence is a joke. Violence is something that is just being advertised as in something that happens in our daily lives.
Many years ago, in 60s, it was not called domestic violence. It was like a culture, a tradition, where a man can chase a wife and beat her. I grew up from that kind of family. My father was so cruel, and I ended up hating him because he was abusive. And weekends, it was bad. My mother was not sleeping at home. We were asking for sanctuary from neighbors, because when he was drunk. And as young people then, we thought it is a culture for a man to be like that, to be bullying, fighting, chasing wife and children.
When we get married, that's where the abuse starts. Because when we get married, there's a time that marriage, it's on Saturday. Most of the time on Sunday morning, both families meet, where we've got a very small gathering, where they are going to talk to both of you. In most cases, whatever they are saying, it is based on a woman. Most of the time, what do they say? You as a woman don't have to ask a man. When a man does not sleep at home, a man is not asked to do that. They never talk to a man and tell a man that this is what you've got to do, this is what you are not supposed to do. We are told, we as women, that we don't have to ask our husband where they come from, when they come home after midnight. You are the one who've got to do everything. You don't ask a man. And that's where the abuse starts.
The fact that people are very ignorant, especially parents, living in an abusive family. We have this ignorance. No, why you're asking your moms, why aren't you leaving home? Why don't you leave? Why is it doing this? No, don't tell people about this. This is natural. A man has to do this, and that's when you find this. It grows from one generation to the next, from one generation to the next.
To stop violence, I think we must come together as a nation, not just a nation, around the world. We must come together and say no is no. I am my sisters and brothers keeper. Perseverance Secondary School says no to violence against women and children. We say no. Stop violence.
No one's picking up the phone, 'cause it's me and me, and this little masochist. She's ready to confess all the things that I never thought that she could feel. Hey, Jupiter, nothing's been the same, so are you gay? Are you blue? Thought we both could use a friend to run to, and I thought I wouldn't have to be with you.
In this world map, we see where FGM, female mutilation, most occurs. The blue means it's outlawed, the green means it's rare, the yellow means it is rare but the data is scattered. Red means it is where it most occurs, up to 75% of the population and more.
Female genital mutilation comes in different forms, from pricking of the clitoris to stretching of the labia, to partial or total removal of the genitalia.
One of the most severe types of FGM is infibulation. The outer lips and the clitoris are removed, sometimes with a razor, causing a lot of blood loss. A small twig might be inserted before the wound heals, to create a small hole so the woman can use the toilet and continue to have periods.
As she just said, there are different types of FGM, female genital mutilation. The first type, the clitoris is removed. The second type, the clitoris plus part or all of the labia minora is removed. And the third, which is the worst, is removal of everything and also sewing up the vagina so only there is one small hole that allows for urine and menstrual fluid to come out.
Afterwards, the legs are bound together for up to 4 weeks to allow the wound to heal, making intercourse and childbirth impossible, so a husband will know that he is marrying a virgin.
I've met many young women who are dealing with the physical and emotional consequences and who are scared to this day, broken down and most importantly let down by the system that was supposed to protect them.
I first heard FGM referred to as female circumcision, and I assumed that this was similar to male circumcision. When I realized how horrific it is, I knew I had to campaign against it.
I'm that girl who's undergone FGM, and my mission has always been to save at least one girl. One girl means break the cycle and save a generation.
Would you want this to happen to your mother, your sister, or your best friend?
Why are girls and women like me being ignored?
One form of violence is believed to enhance beauty and purity. Instead, it scars forever. Female genital mutilation is a human rights violation. Every minute, 5 girls worldwide are subjected to this painful cut. An estimated 180,000 girls living in Europe are at risk every year. 42,000 people across Europe have signed their names on rose petals, each one demanding action to end this harmful practice. When a girl is cut, she's celebrated and showered with gifts, but the pain and trauma will stay with her forever.
Whenever you hear Pakistan in the news these days, the context is either of the Taliban, political assassinations, or violence. One might be surprised to hear that this nation holds the 6th largest population in the world. But one of its most recognized issues today is their problems with solving women's rights. How did this beautiful nation become one of the female victim acid attack capitals of the world? During the era of Pakistan's 6th president, Muhammad Zia al-Haq, Pakistan was forced into Islamization. Zia, through his reign, wanted to make Pakistan a state of Islam. Unfortunately, this was bad news for women, because he created, through Islamization, many laws and customs that caused negative effects on women. These laws forced women to lose their voice and also their identity.
Society, woman is considered very much the property of men, and that is the way a girl is treated from day one, that unless she conforms to the family's dictates, she is considered rebellious and an outcast.
Throwing an acid on anyone's face is usually a shocking crime no matter where. However, in Pakistan, acid attacks happen almost on a daily basis. Last year alone, there was 150 plus reported attacks. These attacks stem from Pakistan Taliban practices. Soon enough, the locals caught on in lower class neighborhoods and decided to use this terrible tactic to solve their own problems. As you'll see, not only adult women are targets, but also our little girls.
So from Pakistan tonight, a remarkable story of survival. Women who have endured horrific abuse, acid attacks, a form of violence against women in that part of the world. Tonight, Nick Schifrin reports from Lahore, Pakistan, where a rare group of victims is vowing not to hide in shame.
It was 3 years ago that Saira Liaquat was maimed by her husband. Married off at 16, she refused to move into his house, and he threw acid on her. I felt as if my daughter had been taken away from me, her father says. Acid attacks are common in South Asia, often carried out by family members, often only because women are trying to claim their basic rights. These girls in Afghanistan were attacked for going to school. Down this road in Pakistan, 5 girls were buried alive for wanting to choose their own husbands. Usually, attackers go free, like Saira's husband. It is the women who are shunned by society.
Women in our society is a commodity. This is how I see it. They're treated as a piece of furniture.
Saira found respect at this beauty shop where the beauticians are burn victims. They get free training, free medical care, and a new start. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I think, why me, she says. But since I've started working here, I have courage and I have hope.
These are the women who actually deserve to be beautiful, to be made, to feel beautiful inside and outside.
As many as 80% of Pakistani women suffer from domestic violence.
Violence against women is especially common in rural areas, and advocates say in order to make things better, there has to be huge improvements in education and economic conditions. Are women second-class citizens in Pakistan?
Yes. I'm not even sure that we are considered citizens by the police, sections of the judiciary.
As for Saira, she still has her smile, and her family supports her. My daughter is very beautiful, he says. I'm not even this proud of my sons the way I am of my daughter. But most of the thousands of victims of these crimes aren't so lucky. Nick Schifrin, ABC News, Lahore.
In 2010, acid attacks finally became illegal in Pakistan. Pakistan government passed the Acid Control and Acid Crime Prevention Bill, which can carry heavy punishments, including life in prison. Now enforcing in rural areas is the only problem left, but at least Pakistan has taken a step forward.